Well, it is that time again. It is fall, and that means it is Halloween season, and that means many of you will be doing casting with silicone, making body parts, making all manner of Halloween costumes and props and decorations for your house. So I thought I'd put together a special video just highlighting some of the tutorials that will be of good use to you for this time of year. So on the end screen, I'm going to be linking to this video that you see here. This is one of my top videos on casting hands. And this video goes over the process of casting hands in platinum silicone. And then of course that video links to several more dealing with painting silicone and a variety of techniques for casting silicone in both soft and firm silicone. And of course, as always, all of the links for everything shown in the video will be in the video description. So check the end screen for that, but I have some more as well. So in addition to the hand casting, and that's one of those videos and one of those techniques that goes back to the earliest days of brick in the yard. In fact, my very first tutorial on YouTube was casting a silicone hand out of an alginate mold. And then of course I'll also link to the series where I'm making a silicone bust. And in this case I'm using the TC5130F platinum silicone to make a silicone skin. And then I back that up with TC284 flexible foam. And that's a 4-part series, but I'll link to the very first video in that series on the end screen, so be sure to check that out. And then of course you can use that video to guide you to the others in that series. And a lot of really important material for the Halloween season, especially if you're going to be casting up any kind of silicone busts or masks. In that series I cover the process of seaming and painting silicone, both with brush and of course airbrushing silicone. And then I also cover the process of punching hair and hand laying hair on silicone. So again, that's a 4-part series, but that of course starts with that casting process. So check the end screen for that as well. Really important tutorial, and those of you that are interested in seaming and painting and patching silicone, lots of good information for you there. So check the end screen for that. And then of course, this is also the time of year when we have many of you that are casting foam and polyurethane rubber parts. And one of the more popular techniques for casting flexible foam and foam rubber props is to first slosh a skin material. In this case, I'm using the FP40. So on the end screen, I'll be linking to a tutorial where I cast an FP40 skin backed with TC266 flexible foam. So this video will also be linked on the end screen, and of course it includes both the sloshing part, casting the FP40 flexible polyurethane skin, and then of course backing that up with flexible foam. And TC266, this is a very popular foam formula for this time of the year. We have a lot of people that use this to back latex masks and other flexible foam display pieces. It is a self-skinning foam. You can mix this up in either a 3 or 5 pound density. So more about that in that tutorial. And at the end of this video, I'm going to have some instructions on how to find some of the playlists on my channel as well, because I have a lot of playlists that are really helpful this time of year. Now naturally, if you're going to be casting any kind of props or masks or anything out of the polyurethane rubber, something like the FP series, FP40 is popular for also like Batman cowls and things like that. But anytime you cast a part like that, the next question I typically get is, how do I paint this? So I made this foam widget, or I made this polyurethane rubber widget, and now I need to paint it to look realistic. So how do I do that? So of course on the end screen, the final video I'll be linking is a video on how to paint polyurethane rubber. Now overall, this is a pretty straightforward and easy way to paint polyurethane foam and polyurethane rubber. I'm using SC94 from BJB, and SC94 is a clear paint base. It's just a single component, so no mixing necessary. It just comes as a clear paint base, and then you can pigment that paint base either using acrylic colors. I either use the Liquitex heavy body acrylics, or you can use universal tints. You can go to a paint store and get the tints for pigmenting water-based paint like latex paint. and I go over all the details of that in that tutorial. So again, that one will also be linked on the end screen. So definitely check out those tutorials. Lots of good information for the Halloween season, and you'll find that each one of those links to even more tutorials. So it's easy to tumble down the rabbit hole, but definitely check as much of that out. It'll save you a lot of time and money as you go into this Halloween season. Now, the 4 videos I'll link on the end screen, in my opinion, these are probably some of the 4 most relevant given the questions I'm asked on the YouTubes. So definitely check out those 4 videos on the end screen. But in addition to that, I have a lot of playlists on casting foam and polyurethane rubber, and of course, casting silicones. So any of you making flexible foam props, like this is one of the tutorials on making a prop pipe wrench using the TC284 flexible foam. That's a relatively high density self-skinning foam that works well for casting a lot of hand props. So at the end of the video here, I'll show how to find all of those playlists on my YouTube channel. So in addition to that, last year I did a whole series on making a parasitic twin for one of my daughters. So definitely check that out. Again, that's I think about a 5-part series. So lots of good information there. And you can see my whole process, warts and all, of making a resin mold of this little guy or gal, and then casting her in TC5110F platinum silicone skin material. Of course, I take it through all the painting steps, and I did that with little eye forms, so you can see the whole process of me putting little eyes into it and all the finishing techniques. So definitely check that out. Lots of fun information there. It was a fun little project for one of my kids. And I'll show you now how to find all of these playlists, because again, this is one of those things that kind of gets neglected sometimes in the shuffle of things here on the YouTube. So when you go to the main channel page, you'll see right there, you can click and there's the home, video, shorts, playlist, click on playlists. And when you click on playlists, it's going to bring up all those created playlists. And I have a lot of good information for those of you casting and painting polyurethane, rubber, and foam parts. Of course, casting resin parts, solid and hollow parts. And then, of course, I have some good interviews, some good math videos. I recently posted a math tutorial with Troy. So anyway, there's the playlist there on the main page, the main channel page. Just click on playlists and then go to town watching as many of those as you can stomach. So as always, thanks for following the channel, and of course all of the materials that I'm using in the videos, I will link those in the video descriptions under those videos. So definitely check out all of those product links related to that, because that's another thing. I get a lot of questions about some of the products that get very specific for some of these things to work. So make sure you check out and visit those links related to the video you're watching. So as always, check out the end screen here. You'll see those 4 videos that I mentioned. Be sure to check those out. Hope you all have a great Halloween season, and I've got a lot of new content coming up for the Halloween season ahead. So in addition to these old classics, stay tuned for a lot of new material. And as always, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching and supporting the channel.